Tashi de paper, Windu number down to Tajakalajuwa, Tomo Tashi de Shoyi, the Tomatri Sanji Jondi, Lungzi Nana, do some Sanji Tam Jig, Jami some the Saudi, College of the Saudi of Sabti Oman the Jobati, do some Sanji and Joba, comes from Jila, nearby Tashi de.
To all who are joining on the live stream and who are here in person. First, I offer you in the Buddha's begging bowl the milk tea of loving kindness and compassion, which accumulated 3 times of Buddhas for countless eons within their efforts. I offer these 3 times of Buddhas and dedicate all thinking beings of 3 realms. Tashi Delay.
Page 1.
Page 1 in the concise sadhana Chenrezig. All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Ah, from the unelaborated, unperceived, and empty state arises my own body as the Noble One's primordially perfected form, brilliantly white with one face, 4 arms, and legs in Vajra position. The first 2 hands are folded at the heart, while the lower right and left hands hold a crystal mala and a white lotus. The indivisible form of the wisdom being and Samaya being is complete with the major and minor marks. On a moon disk at the heart is the letter Hri, encircled by the 6 syllables, which radiate with light. These lights transform into the outer universe into a boundless palace, and the inner sentient beings into the Noble One's form. All sound transforms into the nature of the 6 syllables, and all thoughts into the state of supreme love.
Tasso, hallo an der Stelle.
Oh, ja. Die Kazan habe die Drwanoji Mani die da so die Guru die was so go Samsung. Pasa Jalan data. Ja, couple die ji so tani. Dann so ji so. Die Tota Jerem si bada da. Hada Garchen boyore, Garchen bo kadi yore dina. 다들 설리들이 나한테도 인상 도와대 세고도 찍대 나한테도 인상 deepen 노트 심보요리 대리니 보르들이 제는 좀 제는 가래를 핑거래지나 바도는 리전도 강제 납치 살아 통해서데 납치 걸로 적세 강야를 말이지 다들 박차를 내대 큰는 저요리 대리 람상 다들리지 들들먹게 박차 참아요리 대리니 보더니 제름 공송 송발에 대방고 두제이지.
So today I thought of giving a bit of say a few words about the practice of how we actually practice the Mani. And so when since this anyways this text is it's quite new, so I forgot to mention that before, but so anyways, so maybe there's some people who have not heard about it or who have forgotten about it. So just as a reminder for a deity practice, yeah. So we practice the generation stage. For what purpose? Why is it so important? So when we have sometimes people think that when we practice the generation stage, we visualize ourselves, our body in the form of the deity, and then you think, this body, that's the deity. And that's actually a mistake, think that way. So that is because the antidote to that concept of I am is the generation stage. So the benefit of practicing the generation stage is so that when we die and we go into the bardo, when the consciousness separates from the body and goes into the bardo, the consciousness leaves just like leaving a guest house. And what then brings you in the bardo is those karmic imprints, these habitual tendencies. So it's this I am thought. And together with this I am, you bring all your negative karmas and habitual tendencies with you. And so that's the purpose of truly practicing the generation stage. So this is what I'm going to talk about. So?
today me make on ngani song. Today to pass tawa de la same day, tata same day, bella to the doctor. Deeper Jimaje Mahamudra master Tata and the same Tam suddenly not all the palm Chamia Yana, they said the Nampata of Changre. They did Namkata what the lately you they made the main daughter one your my shopping bonaji charter today. Oh, there is Tia or my head today, like
and so it is said that when the mind, the ultimate mind is free from elaborations, emptiness, and in the texture, the direct cut in the Dzogchen practice, here we look at the present mind at this moment, and when there are no thoughts of the past thoughts are gone. Future thoughts have not yet arisen. The next thought hasn't yet arisen. We look at this present state of mind, and in a very direct way, all thinking stops. There's no thought in the mind. And in that moment, the mind is just like space. And this space-like mind cannot be called anything. So we cannot speak of it in terms of it being there's something there or not there. It is just like it's explained in the Heart Sutra. So that's the meaning of being unelaborated. So you cannot label it or you cannot describe it. That's so?
Garchi Toki Long Navo Chana, Tridera Kari, Sanji, Sekiri, Juze, Tamche, Matapa, Dina, Sunu, Jiki Saga, the Tarpong and Todo Yori, Chani Jackson, the Nabji Simchi, Tata Chelma, Sheba Chekar, the Zong Todo, Tama, Juze, Matapa, Matapa Jirakari, Totomani, same to Toto Yomari, Rang Pochacho. Daji Dandi the Torto Mary. Dandi nga some daily bola. Oh, Gilizit. Gilizit Yomari, not Gilizit Yomari. Sanji de Hakona. Rich Gilizit Gilizit Sakti Kagam and Sonore. Saja Chibote and don't so dinner. Jayang Masi love the chilla to so. Tiktok Masam center certain, this is the Nakana child. The idea Lamsan like was of drinking, feeling minds about the Zog the G or tick, sort of a tail, you know, the little dueling on the papa got the same Tomban Ramji, like talk Ramji Charlie already. The Yesangji party, 17 and the Sanji is so dead and you don't took already.
And so if conceptual thoughts arise, the Buddha then had said, if those conceptual thoughts arise, see all as impermanent. The Buddha said that all compounded phenomena are impermanent. This whole world is just like a pile of dust. It arises, abides, and it will cease to be. There's no one in this world that is born that doesn't have to die. Everything will disintegrate finally. However, when you look at the mind, the empty space-like mind, that never ceases to be. That cannot be destroyed. And even if all is destroyed, self-grasping still goes on. It's not destroyed. So it's this thought of me, I am, that thought. And as an antidote to that grasping, this perception, we visualize the form of Chenrezig. So when you remember Chenrezig, you are not thinking of me. And also conversely, when you think of yourself, you're not thinking of the deity. So this is what the Buddha had realized. So in the Ganges Mahamudra, it says, and that is actually the essence of Mahamudra, it says that without a single thought, decisively look at your ultimate nature. So don't think anything at all without a single thought, just view your nature, and it becomes like space. And in that moment, the moment you have this space-like experience, if you then remember the deity, you simply forget about this me, this I. And that is because one eliminates the other, either one or the other. So that is why we visualize the form of the deity. And by remembering the deity, you naturally become it, because that is your primordial nature. It is said that primordially, the mind is Buddha. All beings are actually Buddhas. So?
Jima Traps Chulasa, Jima Traps Machuna, Lachi and Besi, Jang Char Song, the La Gom Song, Lachi Tatachata, Tataki, Jelum, Botini, the Golkari Pingers, to see someone Pingereti, see someone Jenang Chibo, you got in Jenang, the Kali, you were in. Chota Le Pakcha, Numa, Talk Pakcha, Digila, Lelong, Shansona, the Lelong, the lady, the David, the same Shadow Gori. Nemo talked to Ranta, the daughter to Shadow Gori. Haja in Hashibori, same thing, not to get a Greek, Lelong, the short doggy, Table Short Cheddy, Jerem Gongore, song, Jerem Gongore. Oh, 3 days, long to change and 3, telling now somebody. Jidore, the Lord was some set up Japsari, their rope finger, the Gemma, the Lajuche, so the La Gong and Hada song, that didn't the some of the Montinian Gorege.
So there's a song by Milarepa when he taught his disciple Venerable, and so I'm using Kindle, so I can't tell you the page number right now, but I can send the song to the office and they can give it to you maybe. So there's this song that Rinpoche would like us to read, and in one of the verses in that song it says, Milarepa says to Venerable, your future lives will be more fearful than this one. Have you prepared a guide and protector? If you haven't prepared a guide and protector, that guide is sublime Dharma. You should practice it well. So that's just one of those verses in that song. And this is really where the significance of deity practice actually comes in. This is really the essence of deity practice and why it is so important. So if you wonder, what's really the benefit of practicing a deity like Chenrezig? The benefit is that the way you actually benefit from it is actually in your future lives or beyond this life. Because once you pass from this life, it can become very frightening, very fearful. So future lives are more fearful than this one, or passing beyond this life is a very fearful experience. And why? It is because you bring with you your 6 kinds of afflictive emotions and all these habitual tendencies, this imprint in your mind. These are the karmic winds that will take you without any control. And what manifests then to you is the fruition, the manifestation of these afflicted states of mind. And that is fearful. So the 6 afflictive emotions, they manifest them to you, and therefore there will be much fear. And the danger here is that it happens in a single moment. And so after a death, in a single moment, it takes a single moment for the karmic winds to take you there. So a single moment of habitual tendency of thinking, you have lost your control and the karmic winds have taken you. So the purpose of the generation stage of visualizing the deity so that you do not lose your control there and that you're able to remember Chenrezig, the deity, in that moment. And if you do, then you are not thinking of this self. So all the tendencies, these habitual thoughts are not present. It is just like you are taking off old clothing. So that is what is meant here by that guide is sublime Dharma. You should practice it well. Practicing it well really means visualize the deity and recite the mantra. So here in this song here, it really essentially explains the significance of practicing the deity. Lasso?
There some mambana dreamy traps of chila, some dreamy traps of machina, sorry, and be going song. The dreamy carry Deli the Dango Saki Doctrina so, same with Nelo Dar Gomja and Deli, Dreamedy. The Dreamedy Kawai, the same with the Yore, same with the Dreamer Carry, the Rain Dechigating, Dechigato, Trishi, Trishi, the Gomja, Shina, Trishi, the Daji, Dana, the Mato of Daji Niore, Kakari, Samdele. Trishi, the certain Trishi Kong, Muleti, Hakona. They look toward or Trishi Koran Namkana Giresi. Korna, Daji Jimadoxa Hako Sodra, 3 shilling, Namchi shilling, Medilla, the little Tatil long year we are. They look Meshibata, Lelonge, Daji Yu Sanda, Del Chadang to one, Lelonge Jangle. Daji Mebashil, Yishik Longze, oh, Kolonjo Mari, Yishik Longze, oh, same Kolan Napana, Nato Karishana, Japso Lapton Tonga, Japso Tendro Mele, Lapdo me a child over there. They look about over 6 years of Chile, the Chowron, the Charlie Chowron, top, Japsi in the Kola Jakore, they don't charge you. They look about all the subject, Lelong, which is another. Wardole, Nato, Cheshire, the Curry, the Daji, the Carries, the Chadang to what Janaki, 3 daughter don't control your. Oh, they looked all the subject, Nato Carishana, Shake something now a large day, Namto, the humor was a measona, Yishila mean a large door. They does what you told Gargola. Now something just home and Yishar, Sarah, you can tell you. There's several jelly large, oh, Marity. You know, they look my tall and Charon or Charson. They look toward the challenge or so, just to challenge them. They large or so. They thought about that, but now you got same cook, they look at your authority. Shut of state on that hark on it. There is a Yanuja, Matamilla, the Napsi, long distance Dango Marie, the sugar long distance Dango Yori. The sugar long down the dark, not don't you, Carestilla. Tatachi, Chadakto Wakari, Tatachi, Lansang Mito, Lansang Mito, Kachik. Oh, they look about over 70 to be cut down to what you cut down to what you have the chick, county, Jalo, Ni, don't think nice about the charcoal, the things only, 3 part or Chamber, and Chamber. Chepate, long the Shilo, Chepa, long the Chepa, the way that I was searching for the sugar long, not talk a little chili or Mary. Chili my chung, build the chola more Jason, so some day take no song. That all the subject, not talk a chola more major, Travada Yava, the young song. They don't charge it, there is sugar long. The Mato Nato Chidonki, the word, the Tammy, the Toba Song, the Charon, the Charon, Dory, Tito, the dog, Tito was the Dawson, that you should long there. La Caritilla, Melon, and some Chartocole, the Electric, Saturday, also send the look also, also, they were sorry about going on Sars, they had to catch him already.
And then another verse in that song says, your future lives will be even darker than this one. Have you prepared a lamp for yourself? If you haven't prepared a lamp for yourself, that lamp is luminosity. You should familiarize with it. So this lamp of luminosity, that luminosity is Mahamudra or Dzogchen. It is the true nature of your mind, the natural state of the mind. So where do we find this lamp? It is within your own mind. And what is it within your mind? It's your mindfulness. So normally you always think, I'm doing this, then I'm doing that. That's actually your mindfulness. You just need to know how to direct it toward meditation. Otherwise, it will separate self from other. Think that's me, that's them, and so on. if you know how to direct it to meditation, it becomes like space. This mindfulness becomes like space. And that's what we call realizing the nature of the mind. That's when this mindfulness sees that there is no self and other. And then it becomes primordial wisdom, primordial awareness. Or we call that the dualistic consciousness ripening into primordial wisdom. There's two kinds of winds. There's the karmic winds and the wisdom winds. The karmic winds are the winds of the discursive conceptual mind, the dualistic mind that develops thoughts of attachment, hatred, and so forth. That's the karmic winds. Whenever you realize that self and other are non-dual, that then those karmic winds turn into wisdom winds, then that's the wisdom winds. The mind then just abides like space. But once the mind abides like space in its non-dual state, even if ripples of thoughts arise, they will dissolve back into the mind, just like little waves going back into the ocean. And those little waves will not form large solid waves. So that's the non-dual mind. Whereas the mind of sentient beings is like ice blocks that are floating on the water and constantly bumping into each other. There's conflict. So for those who do not realize the nature of their mind, they follow their karmic winds. So a thought arises, they follow that thought. And then later, after they have died and they are in the bardo, a thought arises and they don't know what is happening. They think, what is this? What is happening? And this is how they are brought into the 6 realms of samsara. Then those who have realized the nature of mind, they will not follow these afflicted thoughts. They will be able to instantly remember the deity. And the moment they remember the deity, they become the deity. They ripen into the deity. Also in the Dzogchen practice, the next step is the Togol practice, the leaping over, direct leaping. And there, in the Togol practice, we practice with the visual appearances of rainbow lights and the deity. And actually those rainbow lights are a manifestation of the deity. And here we realize, through this practice, we realize that whatever appears before us as a seeming visual appearance is actually our own mind. And therefore there is no separate gods or demons and so on. It's just a manifestation of one's own mind. As the mind changes, different things manifest to the mind. Those who have not realized that, their mind continues to be like ice, which kind of creates a separate perception of themselves and others, and ice blocks and always bump into each other. So it's just our own mind, really, whether it appears as the deity or like this ice block. So those who know how to practice, the practitioners, they will not follow the karmic winds of the dualistic consciousness. They will follow the wisdom winds. So how does that manifest? How does one follow the wisdom winds? So when a thought arises, an afflicted thought arises, whatever it is, attachment, anger, and so on, it arises, and the very moment it arises, as it arises, it already dissolves, because there is no grasping at that thought. Whereas those who have not realized the nature of the mind, they hold on to things. For example, they had an argument yesterday, and today they're still thinking about it. They're still holding on to it. They're not letting go of it. And this is how they spent their whole lives, labeling in their own minds, creating enemies and creating friends. And this is what makes their mind be like an ice block. It's this thought of me and what they do to me. And that is what we then bring with us into the bardo. And then this is what causes us then to wander in the 6 realms. So it's really just the difference between these 2 kinds of winds, whether we follow the karmic winds or the wisdom winds. So here in that song, the Rinpoche calls it a lamp, a light. And this light, this luminosity, that is the wisdom winds. And you follow the wisdom winds by not holding on to whatever thought may arise within your mind. You just let them be like small ripples on water. This is how it is also explained in the 3 words that strike the vital point at Dzogchen teaching. And there it says they are like ripples the thoughts are like ripples in water, or like drawing an image on water. The moment you draw it, as you draw it, it already disappears. And so this is how you then practice with whatever a thought arises. So those who follow the wisdom winds, they do not hold on to whatever thought arises. Those who hold on to whatever arises, their mind becomes like a solid ice block. So this is really the main point that we need to realize. And remembering that, realizing this, will help you accomplish whichever deity you practice. If you know this, and whatever deity you bring to mind, you will actually become that. And so what we need to realize is those wisdom winds, or the luminosity, which is the nature of your mind. So that lamp is luminosity, and you should familiarize yourself with it. Lasso?
Kari sarkore, ta, kari tosungtina, oh, ne lok tokwa tamcheke, ridena, min kangwa kanyona, waso semi jechikbari, daji niyo barichi. Kode niyo le semi chibana, namkana dire se, tingana dere, tili napto kari sharuna dere, jato tawanani sharun shonwani, shoto dere nan jorba ade, nan jorba dere, nan jorba kare dere, semi nama semi mapti bade rage jula ha kosana tir nan jor parete o sebu delo mato daji ni de do tin sang tang to tami ni de to watam ye ngo te chalo do mo chale tere tere nam jor ba me tere ha kola tere jishi ba yo la tere o starte tsu men de la jishi le mo yore jishi le na jishi de ta Lama say lama give it in Chula. Bio Baston, Lari Sodman and so on. Magi Karichi the Hako, Rang Sangre Karichi the Hako, Territory. Hama owed the Legachi, Nordore, Chuti Karichina, the Rang Karichi, or the young Trimble Hamo. The young Trimble Hamo Machina. Nga kishido nga yung ti chebo nga kepa yung sangwe mare de oh timba de shad parato lebde ti no mare sang de tishi de sangje le sang ya wen lama ya dauna saje tishi de za chebo le sang de kare shi de ta daji je me ba ti nam to na daji ji ba shek to yo le de tishi la ma shi ba do Dzogchen ke Tishi la ma shi go song. Trita shi ji ba yin li yen song go yo le. Trita ta rang si la ma to ko sa to ka ju be men la de na so ba yo le. Uni la ma de se la ma ta be ge be shi ni sa le ju ge tin ba le. Na ge la ma de sam che le. Sa la ma de la ge sem de sem yi yen ne sa ge ge la ni be de shi la. Ta wo sa re de 딱 호대기가 하고 람세들이 내려 우살이 메고면 사서 스타트 동들을 때 호대기가 내려 하고서 온지
So what is it that we need to illuminate? What what luminosity do we need to find or familiarize ourselves with? The luminosity means to realize the nature of your mind. So, for example, we are here in this building. This room is filled with people, and the mind is one and the same. So one who realizes the nature of the mind will know that although there's all these people, on the level of mind, within our mind, we are all not separate. We are non-dual, because the mind is like space, and they are able to just stay in that state. And even if a thought arises within that state, it melts just like ice melting in hot water instantly. So that is a yogi. And this term yogi, or naljoba in Tibetan, means the naljo, nal, this first syllable, means the innate, the natural state, or the innate. And jor is to kind of unite with it, or kind of move within it. So it is one who knows the natural, unfabricated nature of the mind. That's what we call a yogi. And one who does not know the natural state of the mind will perceive self and other, a dualistic reality, pure and impure, and so forth. They will perceive everything as separate, solid things. A yogi realizes that things are not like that. And the yogi realizes that because of mindfulness, because of awareness, because of clear mindfulness. When the mind matures, it becomes luminosity. So we recognize luminosity as our mindfulness matures. And that's the ultimate actual guru. And we have an outer guru, a spiritual teacher, and the teacher tells us to practice mindfulness. In the 37 Bodhisattva practices, it says, always look at your mind. No matter what you do, look at your mind. What am I actually doing? That is mindfulness. If you're unmindful, you will make many mistakes, whether in the world or in the Dharma. Or in the Tara prayer, we supplicate to the Mother Goddess of mindfulness. Those who don't recognize that may think that I know so much, I have so much learning, I'm such a great scholar. But that's not the right way of thinking. Mindfulness is the perfection of wisdom. The perfection of wisdom is Tara, is the Guru, is the Buddha, or any Yidam deity. So it's the mindfulness that's most important, not any kind of scholarship. It's the mindfulness. And what does it know? The knowledge of mindfulness is that self and other are non-dual. Mindfulness can eliminate dualistic thinking. In the Dzogchen practice, therefore, it also says that we should recognize mindfulness as the actual guru. And that's also mentioned in the Guru Yoga practice of Milarepa. It mentions the ultimate guru is one's mindfulness. So we have outer, inner, and secret gurus. On the outer level, the guru is our outer spiritual friend, our teacher. The inner guru is your own love. And the secret guru is your primordial mind. When you see your primordial mind, that is luminosity. And luminosity sees in a single moment the nature of all of samsara and nirvana. So here in this verse, familiarize yourself with this luminosity. This is what it is talking about. Lasso?
Oh, three dinner like what ye dogs, lot of novels on those. Novel the career, certain with Perry, Sanchokton, Tondam San, the Grotto Sanchokton with Perry, Kodok Sanchok Semti no Karin, there is like Kuji Chalota, Tuji Bokolopi, Sildunga, the Moche Mambo Yore, the Kariti, Kode Payum Miss Watching, Virgiche, Tachibo, the made Sword Batari, the Kariti, Semti Tamsi people that they are there to go Yore, Kodok Sanchok Semata, Ben and Melu watch the top of so number military Robju, Jabalis of Robju. Tsutamnes of Melu, Zuba the team, Rozambo, Donziva, or three Chirimbo, 3 telas of Gomaro, some city, parts of a Tokyo, Stone Gore, then was Sanchok Senti, Monastery, Roju, Zod, Horde, Payon, Sabi, Tukichibuka, Zokiore. They told you to Tukichibu, Kari, or Tukichibu, Dog Safety, Tamsi, Takojakioris. The dog safety Tamsi Karita Water, the dog safety Tamsi subject Yoris. Subject Koto the Jelly district, the Koto Sarchok and Cherry Koto Tama, the dog safety Meva Chaldrico, the Tama tourist to Tawashi 100 Yoris, they are still Tato Yoris, they are still Kari Yoris, they are still Jatita, the Chimuran Somani, Roju Teta Yoris, Teta the Toma 3. Roju Zoboka, Kote Liga Pata Yumuti, Tamchi, Kirate Korazoko, Roju Tamchi, Jin or the Tajazo, 37 and Jebata, the Roju to say Joxamure, the doctor related Jatasonam, the Sheba Yore, they say go Koto Yam Mantado. Oh, that's one of the sound, related to subject Yoresi. They could adopt Senti Tamsil Pegi already, Saja Tamsil and Choki already. They did that's what they know some already. They just have the sound Tulita, Takwata did the Pingum main Anthony, that's on the sound took the long tablet. They did the not related in Allah, Nasa took several old, Sa took the Cordian already, they did or year to Tuna. 3 para Tata Jin Lapto Drama the John 3. You move talk carrier, Jolly, you need a lamb to tin up to a shake to Kuyore. Charlie, you man, they shake to Kuyore. Oh, 3 now what I say. Now what the last one. Oh, roar the dog. When you sounds of the same time, the sticking boy, Yori, you wouldn't go so around the new talk lecati. Charlotte the shopper, Charlotte the majority of the domain, no Yore. Charlotte the Yogan Coto Lare, the jelly. Data. Shogolo carried the dog or dog to walk. Roba carriage was that's our children what I so. The little are Joseph to Gomdilla, the little Lara Chubata, the little Sebjila, Pemba Tama, the don't in the past of the little, don't in the Tokyo, some of the Malin dog the part of the Slogan Bores, the little Hako red.
And so then for the visualization, the generation stage of Chenrezig. So for example, Chenrezig has 4 arms and he holds a jewel in his hands. What does a jewel mean? For example, the jewel is a sign of great merit. And also on the relative level, the relative bodhicitta, because that's the actual merit, it's bodhicitta. So when we look at the form of Chenrezig, the great compassionate one, then we find many jeweled ornaments, some gold and different gems. So the form of Chenrezig looks glorious and wealthy, abundant. And why is he represented in this way? Because he represents the glory of all of samsara and nirvana, the riches, the abundance of samsara and nirvana. So it is a sign of wealth, of abundance. And what does he do with that wealth? He gives happiness to sentient beings. He benefits sentient beings. And how? With bodhicitta, which is what we call the relative bodhicitta, which is love. So, for example, the fact that we have found the precious human body is also because of merit. And that essentially comes from love. So in the past, if you have practiced generosity, you will now find wealth. If you have practiced ethical discipline, you find a precious human body. If you have practiced patience, you will have harmonious relationships, you will have a beautiful face and a long life. All of the 6 paramitas come from bodhicitta. So that is the merit, and because everything good comes from it, all the abundance and wealth comes from it, it is called the great glory of all of samsara and nirvana. And Chenrezig is depicted in this magnificent form to represent all that glory of samsara and nirvana. And what he does with it is look after sentient beings of the 6 realms, and how? By giving them love. And that is how they benefit. They benefit because they themselves possess Buddha nature. Therefore, if they receive love, then the 6 afflictions can go away. And then they all can take birth in the higher realms, in the Pure Lands, like Devachan. For example, what is Devachan? In the prayer of Devachan, it describes very clearly the nature of Devachan, all the abundance and wealth found there, the rainbow lights and so on. And the enjoyments of the Sambhogakaya, it is filled with Sambhogakaya forms. So all this abundance of all these pure lands within samsara and nirvana, all are complete within Chenrezig's form. And so that's just in brief. There is much more about that. For example, there are commentaries about the 13 ornaments of a Sambhogakaya and what they each represent, and so forth. There's very elaborate commentaries on that, but it would be really a bit confusing and just too much, and it's very complex. For us, it's just actually enough if we just think Chenrezig is love. That's what he gives to beings in the 6 realms. That is what makes offerings to the Buddhas. Chenrezig is rich, wealthy. That's enough for us to think. And of course, if you can think about many other things, for example, if you can remember the pure symbolic meaning of his appearance, then that's excellent. But even if not, it's enough if you just hold on to Chenrezig's bodhicitta, and having bodhicitta, having a confidence of really actually being Chenrezig. So that is the jewel that he holds in his hands. The jewel is really bodhicitta. And if you have that jewel, whatever condition, whatever negative condition arises or thought arises, any of the 6 afflictive emotions, Chenrezig's love can destroy them, can destroy all of these thoughts. They may arise, but they will then just dissolve like ripples on water if Chenrezig's love is present, if the deity actually appears. And otherwise, sentient beings wander in the 6 realms, especially in the 3 lower realms. A sentient being in the lower realms has Buddha nature, but acts through the 6 afflictive emotions, and therefore remains to be an ice block. And for as long as the ice doesn't melt, there will always be suffering. But when the ice melts, that being is the deity because it possesses Buddha nature. So then how can we melt the ice? We need some help to melt the ice. And that is bodhicitta, Chenrezig's bodhicitta. It's enough to only meditate on bodhicitta. That is what benefits sentient beings. That is what makes offerings to the deity. That is how the twofold purpose of self and other is accomplished, through Chenrezig, through the 6 syllables of the Mani mantra. So we need to also understand that the 6 syllables of the Mani mantra are an antidote to the 6 afflictions, or they represent the 6 paramitas. So.
Three that novelty, Gyamche Shira, there I just have not done who you're the novelty, that Conte, you parionted, Novel and Jungle Yore, the nominated some day, the two subjects Sanjay Tamsik, novel carried. Oh, so I took same Cho Rinpoche, two subjects Sanjay. 탐지를 노르데 다 삼재기 요래 되라 다들 조금 뭐 제다 노르데 대야 다요래 대를 동시상으로 소소라 삼재 지종 가래도 딱게 딱게도 소리 삼재 지종 가래도 저 삼재 총총 나와 총 다들 삼재 지는 노치 뒤 쪽들이 짱마 삼재를 내려서네 내 파르트서부터 내려서 따따따 주지대 가래서로 돕지고 자지고 남신인 요거요래 때 고속도로 소나한테 어디면서 소나 제머리 항상야라고도 소나지 바까래 딱고 삼재를 소나래 삼재로 거기다 가르치를 따져봤다고 주지대 가래이나 빼나 다들 작업고 찍으러 와자 은혜들이 삼재들이 로과자 가래지를 낙조래 대답제 지발에 되는 이제그 고독들 지마리 대는 추천을 객저 노바방 파시 쪽도 천도되는 유머부 쪽이 보래 사지 쪽이 되게送了 그리 만에데 파시 쪽이 보래 파르드서 바토고 힘버 첫대할 때 많은 저쪽 이 시간을 가라들에 저쪽 가리들 또 차례 세나 종으로 세나 종으로 세나를 다서 맞아야 다야 되어래 들이 너무 독차 요래 대외들이 다티들이 들이 좀 고마로 토사를 이나던 바서 셴고마로 들이 또 파신 쪽송 추포 제제 동자와 답지서 도도치기는 들이 파신 쪽으로 당거래 파신 쪽들을 들은 사삼제를 들어오래 삼제 참아 창요래 대도 동고 차고래
So this jewel is actually very significant, and we have to think about it more carefully also. So this jewel, as we said, represents the glory, the abundance of all of samsara and nirvana. So all of the glory comes from this jewel. So what the jewel actually is, it is love. The jewel of all the Buddhas of the 3 times is called the precious bodhicitta, and that is essentially love. So we have to think about that by applying it to our own mind. So think, how much love do I have? Would you look at yourself? How much love do I have? If your love is small, you have a small jewel. If your love is great, you have a great jewel. For example, in a previous life, if you have had love and have practiced the 6 paramitas, then now in this life, whatever you do in the world or in the Dharma will be very powerful, will be vast and extensive. Often when we see a person like that, we say that, oh, this person has a lot of merit. What they do is incredible. So that merit actually arises from love. Then what do they do with that, with their ability? They help others. They are generous, or countries help each other in difficult times, for example. That's generosity on the relative level. And then we practice ethical discipline, meaning that we don't harm others, and so on. We practice the 6 paramitas, and the 6 paramitas are an antidote to the 6 afflictive emotions, as the Buddha had said. The 6 paramitas, or as the 6 syllables of the Mani mantra, are the essence of the 6 paramitas. Then we also speak about the 5 wisdoms. So how do we get from 5 to 6? It's because we speak about 5 or 6 afflictive emotions. That is when we have 5, when attachment and greed are combined, but then from attachment arises greed, and from greed arises the hungry spirit, and that makes a separation. And also the human beings and the hungry spirits have a stronger connection. So this is how we get to 6 afflictive emotions. And so by practicing, we purify them. We purify them by making offerings to the higher beings through the 7 branches, and by practicing the 6 paramitas toward ordinary sentient beings. The 84,000 Dharma teachings have their essence in the 6 paramitas, and the essence of the 6 paramitas is love. Everything comes from love, and that's the understanding we need to get at here. That's so.
그래서다 상계 기록다 그래서 기록 탐지는 그래서 상계 기록들 제주세 요리 제주 가래 요리들 파 쪼아라들이다 근데 이 생기 차기 차와 감점 심신이 내당 하고 요래 어야 저도 그런 동적을 되네 랑게 생고 내로 뛰어라들은 근데 이가 다 타고요 쪼아다 더 아니 용대 요래 배는 사제 주담이 찍도 되거나 사족생 이제 라가 잡대를 듣고 요래 삼제디 상족생 타족 레버 가려 도답 사족생 되더니 들이다 도답 사족생으로 듣고 요래 대연들이 상주는 수만하기래 대면들이 다다 체력들이 파 제답 잘나 잘시 요래 파들이 쪼시 요래 더제에서 갖고 요사래 엄마들 에이스티지 개발자들이 파타디 가면 많이 다 가리 가는 다 라서 타마다서 가리들이 그 사제가 가리라고 따고 그래 사제 가를 또 봐지 따도 다 또 봐지에서 또 말이지 다소 돈이 돈을 더더더 쪼아도 더 아니가 요사래데 나고 따와들 때들이 제주도 먼저 개발하게 돼 시발이지 대시 걸 대나기리 대를 주양민시나 주양민 상태宁波 가래지 삼제들 나 그때 배자시고요 마보도 시고들 신이적인 시고래 주요고 주들 냉정 벌씀전에 시고고래 가지 주양민시랑 저다들 양민적들 다도 쪼아도 더 아니가 요거래 대래들이 다 나티 기록들 때서 때서 보면 탑락해 봐서 데이터를 잘해야지.
Among the different religions in the world, the Buddha Dharma has some very unique qualities, some unique features. And that is that the Buddha Dharma can do both, elaborate outwardly and also gather all into one. So if we were to elaborate, then there is so much depth to the teachings. There is a vast elaboration on the nature of all of samsara and nirvana and the different sentient beings and so forth. It gets quite detailed and complex. And so in this way, the teachings can understand the whole fabric of samsara and nirvana. But then also, the teachings can condense everything into a single thing. Everything can be condensed back into a single thing. And that is the nature of one's own mind. So all of samsara and nirvana can be gathered back into the nature of the mind. It all comes from there. So that's the special quality of Buddhism. We can elaborate extensively, but also gather it all back into a single point. And essentially, that single point really is bodhicitta. Everything can be condensed back into love, or on the ultimate level, the ultimate bodhicitta. This is also explained in the King of Aspiration prayers for excellent conduct. And so in terms of how that compares to science, so science is very skillful in outward elaboration. So science is skillful in looking outward and in examining, analyzing the outer world. But it's more difficult for them to gather everything into a single essence. So that is actually a conflict that scientists have encountered. And now when there have been some scientists that I've heard about that, they were aware of that conflict and they were actually looking at what the Buddha called it. And so this fact that no matter how much is examined outwardly, nothing ultimately is to be found. And so the Buddha called that emptiness. And some scientists have then understood that now he has found a word for that, that we have not been able to describe this lack of finding anything. And that has to do with the Buddha's ability to condense everything into a single essence. And normally scientists not being able to do so. That is why they haven't figured this part of not finding anything out. But there is some scientists who have actually realized that and commented on that. So the essence of the Dharma, of all Dharma practice, is love, is bodhicitta. And of course, as a Dharma practitioner, you may think that there's all these texts and teachings that I have to know, that I have to study, I have to learn. And yes, to some extent, of course, you have to know these teachings. We also need to uphold the teachings. We need to know them, uphold them, increase the teachings. We need to know the teachings, but also we need to know how to condense them into their very essence. So we need both. And so this is the reason why the Buddha Dharma is quite profound, because it has this ability to expand, but also contract into a single essence. And that is a very skillful means. So?
Samba getang magise rale getting so ni cheto gibros de ware chun dog shilon kovenan de na chu gewan ya yores chu tabi chu de jana delilana yores de saba torche bores saba kare trogro yin pingo sab lo teres de o chanate lunga to tawa kare chena de gewan jana Saba geta bagi salores. Oh, take a sock child sena. Oh, sock child the sha sa go pagwa petro to sena to the paris. Oh, sock child the dungi doctor the pa called the dungi young dollar sock child the kalame mugger shona. That cock captain say yaga say yara, the giver general. Then you getting some needs and roll your mind. The chicken say you'll do that already. Chicken the ping you soil ping, chicken say about ping, they know someone. Oh, the church in the sun, took self to the dinner. So took a save you that you make it up you give her a jet away already. Pretty sa took same thing, took a zodachi with the jableta, number the motor zoyona. Same go, same thing, something they come the bottle, pingo, something. Sama muted later, so took some. Lapchin, two lapchin in Jodoris, Simchin and that of Pinamina, was a Kovaja dog or Cabre Carido, Motor Deva Carido, number Deva Carido, Tita with the Thomas, I took some silly days. There are just move stone. Shizar City, Sanji Savache, when nature and the same way, go along the Jortopsona, Thomas Haji Javares, Jatika and Cordia Saji Savares. Haja take that but the Gonjik the Tessa, Tachable Song Yore, Kajuba on Dote, dinner, Shizar City, Saji Chavache, so then get some Rotata, that same with the Sabageta Magisha, Tere shot and a quarter, Monkey for temper, and drawing a show, the leech Data or Saba get them against that's what is data does never got it or that Saba Zamotia, take each one though. Pinsem, let me Pinsem, they got him on the some. Three Satos shock ya lao, they got Garation of Satos of the Jatava, the Bangel system so your top diameter song, top manga me by the eso. Some have told the top manga me by Donna Thomas Satos of the Jaturi. The legal top yore, then was had tablet capital so then already. They didn't that's a hard to your age.
So samsara and nirvana, we always say that samsara is a heap of faults and nirvana is a heap of good qualities. But the Buddha actually said, again, it's not really that actually either, because it all depends on your motivation. Your motivation, your virtuous or non-virtuous motivation is what makes what you do virtuous or non-virtuous, and not the resemblance of what you do, not how it seems, what you do. So, for example, that means even if it seems that you are in samsara doing samsaric things, it can actually be Dharma or virtue. Or it may seem that you are practicing the Dharma, but actually it's possible that you're walking along a non-virtuous path too. And that's because it depends mainly on your motivation. So, for example, if you have the motivation, I want to benefit others, then no matter what you do with body, speech, and mind, it will all become virtuous. For example, the act of killing an animal. If you kill an animal because you want to eat it or because you want to use the skin, that is negative karma. But if you kill an animal by euthanizing it, for example, because you see the animal is suffering and it's not even eating anymore and it's dying from starvation, then you may euthanize the animal. And that actually then becomes virtuous. So it's not the resemblance or the seeming act of what you do that decides. The act itself is neither one, virtue or non-virtue. What makes any act virtuous or non-virtuous is the intention behind it. So it's the intention to, for example, benefit or the intention to kill. So it all comes down, therefore, to bodhicitta. If you have bodhicitta, any non-virtuous or seeming non-virtuous act can become a virtuous act. For example, a person with bodhicitta, if a person with bodhicitta starts a factory that produces cars or airplanes, if that person has bodhicitta, so the intention is, I'm doing this so I can benefit people, then that person actually becomes a real Dharma practitioner because they are actually benefiting people. Because how difficult is it for us to walk on foot everywhere? And how much more convenient is it to travel by car or airplane? So if the intention is that, then it really is a bodhisattva activity. Lord Jigten Sumgön had said that everything that is done in the field of knowable things, so that's the world, everything that's done in the world is done by the Buddha. So the mind is actually Buddha, so all that's done is by Buddha. And what makes it virtuous, a Buddha activity, is the motivation. If you can change your motivation to virtuous motivation, it becomes a Buddha activity, no matter what you do. So these words by Jigten Sumgön come from the Gongchek, which is a text considered to be very important throughout all the Kagyu traditions. And thinking about this verse, everything that's done in this field of knowable things is done by the Buddha. And I think about it, the way I understand it is, it's about the state of mind. Is it virtuous or non-virtuous? And I actually also had a discussion about that with Khenpo Tempel. So therefore, I personally think that it all depends on the motivation of is it virtuous or non-virtuous. When you understand that, you will think that's very important. I have to pay attention to my motivation. I must have a genuine wish to benefit others. If that is in your mind, it will become easy to make an effort in cultivating bodhicitta. And then whatever you do becomes virtue. And then with ease, we may engage in activities of upholding and propagating the Buddha's teachings. That is the secret mantra in essence. The secret mantra is the path that possesses many skillful means requiring the least difficulty. The skillful means, many different ways, in essence is bodhicitta. So if you have bodhicitta, anything can be done. That's the skillful means. The skillful method is bodhicitta. That is the kind of skillful enlightened activity, or activity that as Buddhists, that we can engage in as Buddhist practitioners. And that is also where the secret mantra comes in. That's all?
Oh, Tanita, Gangsang, the Tokara Davating, the seven talatri, O Manwimi Hong, they all say, they go to the Titung Kare, the little goal on the Sandu Jayaka, now Jim G. Papa and your songs. The Maladi go no to some song or esse. Bella, that's somebody. Namto Chukur Tambala. Ramzonga Gomba Mazerams, Yenan Yamyon the Devachi get the Cheto, then call song, take it to my young the same young gore, young the man and call the carrier corcore, La Cota carrier corcore, then call the same state of the drawing, Unibo, the Lord of Chocolate, Tate Jan, Unibo Madrid, the last Tataman of Tenny, and young go, is really long color the core. Polo Coditri Tata, Ninja Constantly. Jim them a chocolate them at a minute. Man called summer, Elijah in Dogore. Dark Catholic of Goma, Hampton, Country Gomchiba, the Lucale Corsiba, they just in Jobo Cortaba. That is young little. Three Hajan Constantly, Hampton, helicopter is over the jar, you will Hampton Toya Meba. The next day, helicopter Sunday. Holo the corner. The Ligia war, the Holo Tomino. The Lama Jaratam Holo already. They she oh, 3 Jada Kibayova. 3 Jada Careta. Mariova, that is Jada, young the Hajankawa. The Limba, Dark Atrita Goma, Limping Hampton Gonchiba. Gamele Corta Goma, Nevanjiba, the Litia Corchiba. Poet Chad Cortaba, the Rigam, the Jabu Polanjibata, Gumba, Drubahadi, the Saltego, Salte Chapo, that's about Sebi Chapo, Salte Chabla, the Jabu Polanjibata, Gumati, Jabu Pola Karichigate, Jabu Pola Sepina, Park Kagaki, Roba, Church Japo, Jacob, young, Bamdo Song Job today. They died 70 of the past, and they Khenpo Dza Tsering Tashi was taught to go. 70 past of the Garchen, this will do Dandi the short order, Charles the short order, they got a Yimpigare, draw the power there to the Tsering to the car to Yagomari, to Dandi Charles the shuttle, to on the same side. Don't start to go, top the Etopore. Charles got a chocolate chapter with the other. Draw the Jabu Polanjivata Gomati. The Ripoma Tajika Gomati. That's a new Jayaka now, getting the general Papa Carter. Come some safety and time jailer, the singing woman in Cheka Marity. Oh, the singing was the child or child. They shuttle Saji Kaka Yobarity. Oh, Jelly Sanji, Lam Saji Sanso with torture. That door Carigo, Dodo, 2 rounds of the Chibo Chego. Absolutely. I need something to put this about Sebicina. There is someone like Zonti. The Palmata round, Ranid about Sebicina. Drubsong de la Drubsong de Theodore Quality, the Nada, Salute Yaye County. Salute Yaye County. Oh, Yaye County, now you the Jamaica, not on the Salute the Castle, the Sea Company, the Jay Matapa, Jamari, Charlie Jackson, the Tom Dority, Toma Jet. Now this is a Conti, Salute Sagang, the Tiparet. And total same the Toya, your money. Same the Taka, Tanapata, Daji Meva Hakotan, did told your money. Daji lo, call shares on our last on Sebado and Wormary. Daji Yidi, same Napata, Daji Meva Hakotan, did told them with the Maton, did celebration bay party. That would not get on top on the, oh, that's the Namiba. Chấp đã đối trong chấp biết theo như xong, ta chuyện cha mẹ bà hạ con nó chấp đã đối mẹ bà chế xong sự.
Then in the sadhana, in the visualization, it says that we visualize on a moon disk at the heart. We visualize the letter Shri surrounded by the 6-syllable mantra. And so the light then radiates out and transforms the outer universe into a boundless palace. So you think then that the entire outer universe becomes the palace of Chenrezig, of the deity, and then all sentient, the inner sentient beings turn into Chenrezig's form. Now practicing this, Milarepa spoke about understanding, experiencing, and realizing. And he spoke about thoughts dissolving in the Dharma Kaya. So Milarepa said that when thoughts dissolve into the Dharma Kaya, isn't that what we call the self-arisen, natural meditation? But that meditation needs to be imbued with experience, connected to experience, meaning that it's not enough to understand something. You have to experience it by doing it over and over again. That is why, for example, we're spinning a prayer wheel constantly, because it is like a washing machine that it washes our mind. You imagine the mind being like some dirty laundry that hasn't been washed for a very long time. It's very difficult to clean it. So you need a lot of soap and laundry detergent to clean it. So you need to just keep turning, keep practicing, experiencing it over and over again. And so that is why we visualize the mantra garland in the generation stage here. And so as we mentioned before, we go through these 4 stages of approach and accomplishment when we visualize the mantra garland. So first, it begins with the approach where we visualize the mantra syllables of the mantra garland. And we have said that this is like stars at dawn, in the dawn sky. And once that is clear, they begin to turn. So then the garland begins to rotate. Then you come to the close approach, which is like the moon rising. And then it accelerates and it turns even faster. It's just like the engine of a helicopter that turns really fast. So first you can see the machine. And that's actually something I kind of came up myself by just looking at the engine of a helicopter. So, the propeller. So first you see the propeller, right? But then when it starts turning, you still see it, but then it turns so fast, and suddenly you don't see anything. You just hear this humming sound. And when I saw that, I thought that this is really how it is with the mantra garland. It's there, you hear it, but you don't see it. But if I would put my finger in that propeller, I would cut my finger off. So that is how we visualize the turning mantra garland. So then we come to, so we go from approach to close approach. So first, the approach, we have the syllables. In the close approach, they're turning, and then they're turning fast. And then when they become imperceptible, then light rays emanate from it. And then that is the third step, the accomplishment, which is like a king dispatching messengers. So here in the third step, the accomplishment stage, then from the fast spinning mantra garland, light rays radiate. And these are the light rays of love and compassion. So it's like a king dispatching messengers. So once the messengers are dispatched, what are they doing? They go out to help sentient beings, and they come back to protect the kingdom. So we send out love to benefit sentient beings, to help sentient beings. And what we get in return is great merit. What we get in return is the melting of the ice block. That is the great merit. The ice block is melted through those light rays of love. So that is what happens when we send out the light rays. It is love that melts the ice block of self-grasping. And then we can imagine how all become free of self-grasping as they are touched by the light. And the more light of love we produce, the more the ice block will melt. And then there's the fourth stage of great accomplishment, which is then like all merging into one, like the humming sound of a beehive, of all like resounding as one. So here is then where we realize that the outer universe is the palace of the deity, and all beings are Chenrezig, are the deity, because they all possess Buddha nature. So they're all one. You think here that all the ice has melted. There is no separation. They're all one within the mind. So most important here is to cultivate bodhicitta, to cultivate love. If you have love, then it all is taken care of. And you don't have to look outward at what others are doing. Look at yourself, at your own bodhicitta. Make sure that you give rise to bodhicitta, and all will be accomplished just by doing that. So what is accomplished ultimately is appearances are the deity, sound is the mantra, and awareness is empty. So the outer universe becomes the immeasurable palace. So what that means is that things still appear as they appear. It is just that there is no grasping, no fixation to their separate existence. And that is the meaning of empty appearances. So you see the outer world, but you see it like an illusion, knowing that all compounded phenomena are impermanent. The universe appears, it comes into being, it stays, and then again it disintegrates into emptiness. So ultimately, our inner body and the outer universe are one and the same. So the body will disintegrate just like the outer universe. But the mind will not disintegrate, the mind will not perish. And when you realize that within the mind, self and other do not exist, you will merge with the space-like nature after death. Normally, when somebody dies, we think, oh, now they're gone. But actually, the mind has merged with space. The mind does not perish. And when you realize that, you see the ultimate truth, which means there is no birth and death. When you realize that, you have attained the state of the Buddha Vajradhara. a state where there is no more fear. Or it is said that when you realize that the mind is immortal, cannot die, and the mind is deathless, you have conquered the demon of the Lord of Death. That's all. I will take a break.
Om Aho. And now,
That's all Kogadu Rinpoche.
Oh, Tadi take Giban the Gate, Trinito, Tamje, Samba Chibang song, Tandi, Samba Chibo, Samba Chibari, Senti Tata Ranga Ganga, Jiwachi, Jiwachibone, Pama, Tripunda, Topo, Drumo, Trichata Shumage, Ranga Jiwachibo Ganga, they chipper some, Tani. Three safety tamche by Eva Checha your money, call Tomam, Pora Javretri, the only Daji Nimevana, Theta Hakore, three judges, Sabat Sebigan, Ani, three Legachin, three Nova your Mare song, three day, Teresa, Tamati, Sanunjatina, Joseph Tamati. There is not some charity already. There is Tashi direction. They don't do something. They are the concrete. Tommy, after Lin Taba, Marumbo, Tong Jalan, Mugova, Tolma, Mugova. There is 60 Sosoke. There is Genji Masum, Ragged. Tama, Kadun, Yamiki, to check the Kongan to somebody. There is married to me, the Tama, Ranke, Makati, Zona, Ranke. Dragging Yamiki and I choke and they get Muncher and Yamiki and go ahead to touch the leg.
And so these last words also are very important. And that is in our sadhana. It says, what's it, page 6? And all thoughts, so all sounds transform in the nature of the 6 syllables, and all thoughts into a state of supreme love. So all thoughts turn into a state of supreme love. So love, you bring to mind whoever you love the most. Can be your parent or a relative, a friend, your cat, your dog, whoever you love. Just think about that. And then think that all sentient beings have been that. Because since beginningless time in samsara, we have wandered around and have had all these sentient beings as that one that you love. And ultimately, self and other are not separate, are non-dual. So in brief, if you just do everything from within a state of immeasurable love, you will not be mistaken. This is what this is saying. And also this entire verse together, the entire outer universe is the palace, the inner sentient beings, the deity, appearances, sounds, and awareness is the nature of the deity. And so this concise short sadhana is for the practice. So it's for ongoing practice. So this is why Drubwang Rinpoche had put it together. It's because it's a practice that is short and anyone can do it. It's not necessary to have the various ritual items like the instruments and the drum and so forth, the bell, all of that. And you also don't really need dharmas. You can, without any of that, you can still do the practice. You can try to have a gathering of sangha of like 3 or 4 people, however many. You can also do it on your own. However many can come together, you just do the practice. And so he gave us this sadhana for practice so that we can easily practice it. So therefore, it's important that you take this Mani sadhana, this practice, and practice it on an ongoing basis as much as you can. So that's very important to continue the practice. Lasso? Tashitele.
Single sheet.
Single sheet.
wa wan chu de chen je ne ye xie ba jian zhang la yin me de den dong be ngang le dum le ban ba ye xie ge ya ye gang go zhe da wa tam je yong se zo ba ye xie je ran nan le zhe ba jia jie xie bang to wa jie nhân ge re ve ba mi re re la ya da nie thou jie qian bo jian zha wa re re gong de da tam se ba re re la tu zhe dang da ge she le wen chu de wa jin dang bo da lan ne yi xie ba jin zhang tam se ba re re la ten na se tam je ye ge de ma nga zha bong wa cang xie ba de re wo re da wa yu.
I visualize myself as the great compassionate one according to the generation stage. At my heart is a moon disk with the syllable Hri at its center. It is surrounded by the 6 syllables. Light radiates from the 6 syllables and invites the wisdom beings from the pure land of Sukhavati, which merge non-dually with me. From within the state of emptiness, a syllable Brum transforms into the vase, a boundless wisdom palace completely perfected with gates, lattices, and archways. Spacious and lofty, it is the natural manifestation of primordial wisdom. The pills inside are inconceivable. Each of them is a great compassionate one resembling myself. Light radiates from the seed syllable Hri at the heart of each Samaya being, and the Hri at my own heart, inviting the wisdom beings from Sukhavati and Potala. They dissolve into each of the Samaya being pills. All appearance and existence resounds with the sound of the 7-syllable mantra, humming like bees in a beehive.
Page 7, Dissolution.
Page 7, the Dissolution. At the end of the session, the universe and beings melt into light and are absorbed into myself. I then melt into light and dissolve into the Hri. The Hri subsides into the natural state devoid of thoughts. I rest in it as long as it remains. When thoughts proliferate anew, I manifest again as the exalted Lord.
Mani dedication in English.
Page 8, the Mani dedication in verse.
3 times bliss gone, 1 star Makaya, Chenrezig who looks on all beings of 6 realms, 11-faced, pervasive like space, to the splendorous light-filled one I bow. O Mani Padme and specters and suns, and Kagyu Lamas like offering clouds, manifest through the core 6 syllables. Om Mani Padme Hungry. May past Buddha's intent made complete, future Buddhas gathered accumulations, and present Buddha's steadfast long life manifest through the core 6 syllables. Om Mani Padme Hungry. Joined by karma, parents and teachers, and every friend and kin I depend on, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path, bless them to be born in Garchen. Om Mani Padme Hungry. Illness pose threats to life, and demons arisen from lust, anger, and confusion. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path, bless them to be born in Garchen. Om Mani Padme Hungry. Kind patrons who ask to be thought of, male and female patrons told we won't forget. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path, bless them to be born in Garchen. Om Mani Padme Hungry. Those who live on offerings and faith food, meant for the Lama Sangha and the 3 jewels, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path, bless them to be born in Garchen. Om Mani Padme Hungry. Evil kings, court subjects, and bad folk, those who are ill-willed, deceptive, and shameless, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path, bless them to be born in Garchen. Om Mani Padme Hungry. Doers of 10 virtues, 5 acts, deeds nearing the 5 acts, including I, and all those excluding none who left this world. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewachin. O Mani Drubcho, victims of nice famine, high strong, virtueless, sinless wanderers of bardos. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewachin. O Mani Drubcho, the kind mother tree whose milk we drink, all beings whose flesh and blood we've partaken of. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewachin. O Mani Drubcho, bearing loads creatures we beat and ride, who if won't go with nose rope must plow and plow. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewachin. O Mani Drubcho, Utsam Kamari and the whole world, all continents and subcontinents under the sun. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewachin. O Mani Drubcho, those among the five course elements, all beings coarse or subtle, with form or formless. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewachin. O Mani Drubcho, hell beings spread as and flows asuras, gods and humans, all the beings of the three realms. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewachin. O Mani Drubcho, all beings of the 10 directions round, without limit, infinite and fathomless. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewachin. O Mani
Drubcho.
Shower of blessings.
27.
27.
Lama ren zhen zawa sung jie tu ju go tam jie zhen de ba da su ne san la wan ge ge zhe zo chen le zhe ba ju
From the life force Hung at the heart of myself, visualized as the deity radiates light, invoking the enlightened mind of the guru, knowledge holders, and three roots. They all appear like billowing clouds and bestow blessings, empowerment in cities, and perform enlightened deeds. Page 28. Home, free, from the pure and unelaborated innate state appears the principle and retinue, the self-play of continual compassion. Please send down upon this place the blessings of your body, speech, and mind, and grant me the supreme empowerment of the 5 types of primordial wisdom.
Om Mani Padme Hum Mahakaru Nirka Sarva Samaya Zambala.
Page 63 in the Rainfall of Benefit and Blessing Happiness text.
Pure land of perfect happiness, even the name of sorrows unknown. Amicayus grand long life, regard me kind-heartedly, in Potala pure land of perfect compassion. Even 5 points, names don't exist. Chenrezig, hold me with love. Grant me the supremacy, the lotus light pure land of Vidyadhara's deathless life. Even misery's names are gone. Lotus born, grant you blessings, sky-faring rainbow body of perfect deceiving. The names for confused, they don't exist. Vajrasattva grand blessings, me all like wisdom, see deep glory and thou land of perfect splendor. I don't exist, Ratna Sambhava bestow equanimity, wisdom in the watch and pure land. Great happiness, even names for confused desire. Amitabha blessed, grand discerning wisdom seed in fulfilled activity, land of perfect Buddha, deepness the words for jealousy. Amokasiddhi, still accomplishing wisdom in the yogi Dharma sphere. Endowed with 5 perfections, ignorance does not exist. Vairochana grand Dhamma, that to wisdom seed, grand vital essences of the 5 great mothers and Lord. Dakinis, grand bliss, emptiness, mastery, fortune of profound master, gurus of phenom, now well lineage, dams dwell. Grant awakening in one life, fortune of Mahamudra, in the sphere of self-display. Dwell the dance of peace and wrath, grant supreme and common power, seed fulfilling all lives. in 24 sacred sites gathered in fixed sky dancers, grand brightening, liberating powers, fortune of secret in Dhammacaya's expanse dwell the lineage lords and king, Chanting lighted acts in crystal stages, mantra they attaining to sphere, dwell Makala and Code gods of Yuga-TCD, fortune of enlightened acts, who Shri in Vaishavanasa, bird was the was God Zambala, who was Kali for all beings, master of life merit, wealth, good and fortune with your core, don't waver from your heart pledge. Think of us compassionate, leaving all for by fortune, bringing fortune of cattle, fortune of steeds, horses, and wealth of which Ganti livestock, the fortune of fertile sheep, men of herd animals, fortune of gods and those best cattle, wealth of which Ganti cows, bulls, mules to carry heavy loads, all these good fortune bring. Here fortune of fine lovely silk, highly priced gold and silver, fertile soil and blessings, grains, precious gems and ornaments, food and drink of every kind, be the miracles for Chembamas fortune for Mabab. God's got spirits with me, when Nagas wishing gem below, three words gods and humans wealth, bring them here as good for Chelupapa's body, for Chenzambolins only Dharma, lunches fortunate, wealth, millions, longevity, bees, life, strength, and merit. All for lands grand, therefore, turning ages religious. My Chinese kings are reaching force, Persian kings fortune and wealthy army of kings. Are the courage of Ukahor, as good fortune bring them here, fortune on the endless sky, fortune on the stable grounds, perfect food and when glow, the radiant splendor reaches, strength, armor, weapons, miracle powers, monks who uphold their scriptures, fortune of brave and strong, boys beautiful and virtuous girls, pure springs, please all of these breathe the mirrors good fortune, like sun and moon's eastern rise, eastern low life fortune, Carmelites as wheeling southern clouds, southern lone life fortune come, like in shrouding mist, western low life fortune please come, here like a river flows northern, low life fortune please come, here like in falling forma, Baba low life fortune come, like seeds grains ripening below, low life fortune come, fortune of melodious praise, Come like turquoise dragons, row for Chenrezig students. Line come like dazzling star garland. Ushri, stand Vajradaki, Nibbing lights fortune passy. Fight disease, demons, hindrances. Southern jewel Daki, bring resources, food and wealth, expand life, merit reaches. Western lotus Daki, Same to tame all things, samsara and nirvana. Northern action Daki, be therefore enlightened, at annihilating dreams evil. Was God with your ready? You bring all the words for Chen, bring auspicious objects here, bring fortunate objects here, always remain at this place, and may this fortune steadfast. Potentize life substance, says, and at this place protect. Wealth, please remain change unchanging. Grant eternal life, see, grant lesser see, grant wealth and merit, see, grant to cities let them spontaneously, Savasidi alala ho.
Page 90. Om Ah Hong. Three Kayas, Lama, deities of longevity, Dakinis of Uddiyana, and assembly of wealth gods, please bestow the four empowerments upon me and other fortunate disciples. Being bestowed with the supreme form empowerment upon my body, may I attain the indestructible Vajra body. Being bestowed with the supreme speech empowerment upon my speech, may I attain the power of Brahma's 60 melodies. Being bestowed with the supreme mind empowerment upon my mind, may I attain power over the unborn simplicity. May I obtain the essence Kaya empowerment, the ultimate empowerment that is the spontaneous presence of the three Kayas. May I obtain the empowerment of the Guru's three Kayas, which causes the three poisons to manifest as the three Kayas. May I obtain the empowerment of the long life deities of the five families, which causes the five poisons to manifest as the five aspects of primordial wisdom. May I obtain the empowerment of the Dakinis of Uddiyana, by which the body of deathless primordial wisdom is attained. May I obtain the empowerment of white Sambala Yabyum, which effortlessly and spontaneously accomplishes ordinary and sublime cities. May I obtain the empowerment of wealth gods and treasure lords, which perfects the abundance of food, wealth, and riches. May I obtain the empowerment of Mahamudra, which liberates from samsara's pain. May I obtain the empowerment of self-knowing Dharmakaya, which is the primordial purity of delusional perceptions of unawareness. May I obtain the empowerment of the great completion, which is the primordial purity of all phenomena of samsara and nirvana. May I obtain the empowerment of the great middle way, which naturally liberates the four extremes of eternalism and nihilism. May I obtain the empowerment of the perfection of wisdom, which is inexpressible, being beyond words and thoughts. May I attain the empowerment of total openness, free from fixation, which naturally liberates dualistic propensities. May I obtain the empowerment of immortal life, which is the unchanging expanse of awareness. May I obtain the empowerment of awakening within one lifetime, which is the endless accumulation of merit. Hong Hri, the Guru who is the three Kayadis, deities of longevity, Dakinis of Uddiyana, an assembly of wealth gods, my own body, speech, and mind, this life, all solid and substantial matter, all these dissolve, like clouds dissolving in the sky, or water pouring into water, without reference point, into the all-pervasive open space of Ah. Within a state of non-distraction, rest at ease, in the unborn basic space of phenomena, let go of everything. In a state of simplicity, remain free and open. Seal with steadfastness. Samaya, seal, seal, seal. Hong Hri. By this virtue of timelessness beyond the three times, may all beings be relieved from the suffering of poverty, hunger, and thirst, and may all wishes and enjoyments be fulfilled. At last, may they swiftly attain the most excellent state of the Master Padmasambhava and Amitabha in the Buddha field, great bliss, and reach the ground of no return. World Peace Prayer on page 98. To the unfailing sources of refuge, the three jewels and the three roots, and especially Chenrezig, the protector of the land of snows, to noble Tara and Guru Padmasambhava I pray. Please remember your sacred pledge of former times. Please grant blessings that this aspiration be entirely fulfilled. In this dark age of decline, the thoughts and actions of beings are corrupted, and the balance of the outer and inner elements is lost. Through the causes and conditions, humans and animals alike are seized by epidemics and diseases unknown in the past. They are struck by planetary demons, nagas, evil spirits, dark forces, and elemental spirits. Crops are damaged by blight, frost, and hail, and there is fighting and dispute. Untimely rains, heat waves, and droughts in the world, fear of earthquakes, fire, adversaries, and natural catastrophes, and in particular, evil hordes that hurt the teachings and so forth, cause harm and violence throughout the world. May these be swiftly pacified and vanquished from their very roots. In the minds of all beings, human and non-human, may precious and supreme bodhicitta arise naturally. And free of harmful thoughts and actions, may the minds of all be filled with love for one another. May the entire world enjoy abundant happiness and wealth. May the Buddha's teachings spread far and endure long. By the truthful power of the three roots, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by whatever virtuous roots there are in samsara and nirvana, and by the power of our highest pure intention, may this aspiration be fulfilled. In the Blue Book, I believe page 40, Kuntu Zangpo's, the prayer of Kuntu Zangpo. Ho, everything, appearance and existence, samsara and nirvana, has a single ground, yet two paths and two fruitions, and magically displays as awareness or unawareness. Through Kuntu Zangpo's prayer, may all beings become Buddhas, completely perfected in the abode of Dharma Dhatu. The ground of all is uncompounded, and the self-arising great expanse beyond expression has neither the name samsara nor nirvana. Realizing just this, you are a Buddha. Not realizing this, you are a being wandering in samsara. I pray that all you beings of the three realms may realize the true meaning of the inexpressible ground. I, Khuntun Zangpo, have realized the truth of this ground, free from cause and conditions, which is just this self-arising awareness. It is unstained by outer expression and inner thought, affirmation or denial, and is not defiled by the darkness of unmindfulness. Thus, the self-manifesting display is free from defects. I, Khuntun Zangpo, abide as intrinsic awareness. Even though the three realms were to be destroyed, there is no fear. There is no attachment to the five desirable qualities of sense objects. In self-arising consciousness, free of thoughts, there is neither solid form nor the five poisons. In the unceasing clarity of awareness, singular in essence, there yet arises the display of the five wisdoms. From the ripening of these five wisdoms, the five original Buddha families emerge, and through the expanse of their wisdom, the 42 peaceful Buddhas appear. Through the arising power of the five wisdoms, the 60 wrathful Herukas manifest. Thus, the ground awareness is never mistaken or wrong. I, Khuntun Zangpo, am the original Buddha of all, and through this prayer of mine, may all you beings who wander in the three realms of samsara realize this self-arising awareness, and may your great wisdom spontaneously increase. My emanations will continuously manifest in billions of unimaginable ways, appearing in forms to help you beings who can be trained. Through my compassionate prayer, may all of you beings who wander in the three realms of samsara escape from the 6 life forms. From the beginning, you beings are deluded because you do not recognize the awareness of the ground. Being thus unmindful of what occurs is delusion. The very state of unawareness is the cause of going astray. From this delusive state comes a sudden fainting away, and then a subtle consciousness of wavering fear. From that wavering, there arises a separation of self and the perceptions of others as enemies. Gradually, the tendency of separation strengthens, and from this, the circle of samsara begins. Then the emotions of the 5 poisons develop. The actions of these emotions are endless. You beings lack awareness because you are unmindful, and this is the basis of your going astray. Through my prayer, may all you beings recognize your intrinsic awareness. Innate unawareness means unmindfulness and distraction. Imputing unawareness means dualistic thoughts toward self and others. Both kinds of unawareness are the basis for the delusion of all beings. Through Khuntun Zangpo's prayer, may all you beings wandering in samsara clear away the dark fog of unmindfulness, clear away the clinging thoughts of duality. May you recognize your own intrinsic awareness. Dualistic thoughts create doubt. From subtle attachment to this dualistic turn of mind, dualistic tendencies become stronger and thicker. Food, wealth, clothes, home, and friends, the 5 objects of the senses, and your beloved family. All these things cause torment by creating longing and desire. These are all worldly delusions. The activities of grasping and clinging are endless. When the fruition of attachment ripens, you are born as a hungry ghost, tormented by coveting and desiring, miserable, starving, and thirsty. Through Khuntun Zangpo's prayer, may all you desirous and lustful beings who have attachments neither reject longing desires nor accept attachment to desires. Let your consciousness relax in its own natural state. Then your awareness will be able to hold its own. May you achieve the wisdom of perfect discernment. When external objects appear, the subtle consciousness of fear will arise. From this fear, the habit of anger becomes stronger and stronger. Finally, hostility comes, causing violence and murder. When the fruition of this anger ripens, you will suffer in hell by boiling and burning. Through Khuntun Zangpo's prayer, you beings of the 6 realms, when strong anger arises for you, neither reject nor accept it. Instead, relax in the natural state and achieve the wisdom of clarity. When your mind becomes full of pride, there will arise thoughts of competition and humiliation. As this pride becomes stronger and stronger, you will experience the suffering of quarrels and abuse. When the fruition of this karma ripens, you will be born in the God realms and experience the suffering of change and falling to lower rebirth. Through Khuntun Zangpo's prayer, may you beings who develop pride, let your consciousness relax in that natural state. Then your awareness will be able to hold its own. May you achieve the wisdom of equanimity. By increasing the habit of duality, by praising yourself and denigrating others, your competitive mind will lead you to jealousy and fighting, and you will be born in the jealous God realms, where there is much killing and injury. From the result of that killing, you will fall into the hell realm. Through Khenpo Dza prayer, when jealousy and competitive thoughts arise, do not grasp men as enemies, just relax and ease. Then consciousness can hold its own natural state. May you achieve the wisdom of unobstructed action. By being distracted, careless, and unmindful, you beings will become dull, foggy, and forgetful. By being unconscious and lazy, you will increase your ignorance, and the fruition of this ignorance will be to wander helplessly in the animal realm. Through Khenpo Dza prayer, may you beings who have fallen into the dark pit of ignorance shine the light of mindfulness, and thereby achieve the wisdom free from thought. All you beings of the three realms are actually identical to the Buddha, the ground of all. But your misunderstanding the ground causes you to go astray, so you act without aim. The 6 karmic actions are a delusion, like a dream. I am the primordial Buddha, here to train the 6 kinds of beings through all my manifestations. Through Khenpo Dza prayer, may all you beings without exception attain enlightenment in the state of Dharma Dhatu. Aho! Hereafter, whenever a very powerful yogin, with his or her awareness radiant and free from delusion, recites this very powerful prayer, then all who hear it will achieve enlightenment within 3 lifetimes. During a solar or lunar eclipse, during an earthquake, or when the earth rumbles, at the solstices or the new year, you should visualize Khenpo Dza, and if you pray loudly so all can hear, the beings of the 3 realms will be gradually liberated from suffering through the prayer of the yogin, and will finally achieve enlightenment.
사자 총총줄에 라마 계획이 망보 페크요에서 담자번은 가사가 페크요에 대로서 하자 까와상보리 계획이 이제 하장자 첨보리 또바 산지 좀 되게 그 송네들이 콩 양인인 다버간에 꾼가고 콩사 샤이바들게라 송네 양이마지 꾼가고 내가마도 꾼가고 마우스제 타원은 아리 계획이 지시게 초라조가 도지 저서 망과 계획이 담지 산지에 그 주바리 계획이 그 가르쳐 거든 취시에 걸로 지체배는 취대시 레지브렘 없도지네 매좀 되게 먹지 채터나 들이대 다니 정도 상지에 사마터 받더니 맥체지 요래 왜는 자공대 저는 장소를 맡은 받더 들이 자공대 road to our Mahakoso, the Taman Tashi, the Lake, the Lamagashi, Mambo Perry, this Roma Tamcheke, just drawing Jason, the young Shiraka, Tato Shade, Chushe, the Pion Chembore, Circuit Chushe, the Sajik to Barre, the Jataji Chocolate, the Tashi, the Lake, Tajakara Jopata, the Paper Tama, the Lake, Tashi, the Lake.
So now we accomplished Mani Drubcho and some Attakidele to all. Actually, this is a small place, but there are many spiritual masters came here. And actually, Buddha, when Buddha was pre-nirvana at that time, Buddha said that to his disciple, Ananda and Shariputra. At that time, Buddha said that don't be suffering, and in the future I will come as a spiritual masters, and then at that time I will teach to these teachings. So that's where all these spiritual masters are really the manifestation of Buddha. So they teach Dharma, and then it opens eyes of karmic wisdom. So that's where they always open our wisdom eye to see the karma cause and the effect. So then they always help us from today to the enlightenment. So then the ice melt into the water. That is example. So then when spiritual masters who gives the teachings, that is the real important. And then students you should listen these teachings, and then also discourse Dharma with each others and with these spiritual masters. And then we can decisively say that these spiritual masters are the manifestation of Buddha. So that's why then many Takidele to all who participate on the live stream and who are here in person. So during the teaching, the discussion is very important. Or during that teaching, or it says like that and this is just not enough. You are going to discuss each other's after teaching. So then Olga is here, and she actually lead this Dharma discussions with many people, and also she composed some book and so forth. So then everybody, the after teachings do Dharma discussion.
So this concludes the Mani Drubcho portion of our winter event, and we want to thank our beloved Guru, Garchen Rinpoche, Chenrezig himself, for guiding us in this practice, helping us to melt our ice and open our wisdom eyes, and we're forever grateful. This offerings from the Institute and also from the people who are leaving after this portion of the event. So those offerings are included there for Rinpoche. And we will do all the rest of the formal offerings at the end of the winter event, but we do want to thank Khenpo Dza Tsering Tashi for your support during this practice. Thank you, Olga, for doing the question and answer. Thank you, Khenpo Tenzin, for making these beautiful tormas and for the support in the practice. Thank you, Lama Bunima, for doing the chanting, and to Darcy for chanting, and thank you, Ani Dagme, for doing the chopin. And of course, we'll do the extensive thank yous at the end. And so we're going to let Garchen Rinpoche leave the temple first, and then Elizabeth has a few announcements, and then we will all go directly outside for the group photo before lunch. Thank you.
Om Mani